In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to submit your scores for Wave 2 of the virtual competition. There will be separate forms for divisioning and final scores, but this video will be able to support you in the completion of either form. So in this example, I'm going to submit my athletics divisioning scores. What I'll need before I start are my athlete name or names. You can submit one or multiple athletes on the one form, the events that they entered, and the best score, time, or distance from their first training phase, in this example of divisioning. If you're submitting for their final score, it's the best score, time, or distance from the second training phase. I'll also need their scores. The format for scores varies. If it's a run, walk, or wheelchair, it's a timed event, so it should be in seconds and milliseconds. If it's a throwing event, it should be a distance, so it should be in centimeters. And if you're submitting for the speed bounce and any of the basketball, bocce bowling, or golf events, it's points, so it's a single figure. So let's start filling the form in. The first thing I need to select is my region. So we'll select Ulster. I then need to submit my club name. If you begin to type the name of your club, it should automatically generate from the list, and you click, and in this case, it's Newry City. I submit my own name. My first name is the person completing the form, and my surname. And then my email address. And again, this email address will be used for all communication regarding the virtual competitions. And a second time, just to make sure there are no typos. Now I can begin to enter my athlete's scores. As you can see, you're automatically allotted 3 rows. If you have more than 3 scores to submit, you can simply use the bottom line to add more scores. You can increase the number of how many lines you would like, and they will automatically open up. So let's submit my first score. So in here, I enter my athlete's name, her first name and her surname, Margaret Smith. I select her event, and in this case, a 100-meter shuttle. And this is a timed event, so it's in seconds and milliseconds. So it's 30:13. She also did a second event, so I submit her name again. And in this example, she did the speed bounce raised. This is a scored event. In this case, it's a single score, and in her case, that is 15. And now I enter another athlete's details. Okay, his first name, his surname. All took part in the adapted shot put. This is a throwing event, so it's in centimeters. And he threw it 167 centimeters. Paul also took part in a second event, which was the speed bounce flat. This is a scored event, and in this case, he did 9. I only have the 2 athlete details, so I don't require these empty rows. So before submission, I need to delete them using the minus button on the right-hand side. Now that I have all my details in, I still need to submit them. So next I hit preview. This will give me a summary of what I've submitted. So I have my region, my club, my name, my email, my athlete's details. If I've made any mistakes or there's anything I'd like to change, I can hit previous and it will take me back. But in this case, I'm happy that all the details are correct, and I will simply hit submit. If you wait a few seconds, you should then receive a notice to tell you that you have submitted your details and a contact email should you have any queries. This will also be emailed to you should you wish to follow up. Let's show you another example for how to do this for basketball. This will be very similar for bocce, bowling, and golf. And again, I require the athlete name or names, the events they entered, and the best score, time, or distance from the training phase that I'm submitting for. Again, we need the format for how we're submitting scores. And in this case, we're submitting for basketball, so it will be points, a single figure. So let's fill in the form. Select my region again and my club. I begin to type. Once again, it should automatically populate. We'll select Newry City, my first name as the person submitting scores, my second name, and then my email address. The second time. Now I submit my athlete details. In this case, I only actually have one athlete that took part. So we will type in Mary's name and her event. So for basketball, all athletes must take part in all 3 events. So I select the first event, which was the 12-meter dribble, and it's a scored event. And the score she achieved on this was 35. Needs to submit Mary's details again. For the second event in basketball, which was around the world, again, it's a scored event, and she did 5 in this. The last event for the basketball is the target press. And Mary scored, in this case, 26. This is very similar to bocce, bowling, and golf, where athletes must take part in all 3 events. So you must submit a score for all 3. Now that I'm finished with Mary's and I don't have any other athlete, I'm going to hit preview. To receive the summary of the information I've inputted, check that I'm happy that it's all correct. If I need to change anything, I click previous and it will take me back so I can amend anything. But in this case, I'm happy. So I will hit submit. And after a few seconds, you should receive a notice at the top of your screen to say that your information has been submitted. You will also receive this by email. I hope you found this video very useful. If you have any issues when submitting your form, please use the email address listed on the form halfway down the page for any guidance, support, or help. The best of luck to you and your athletes in the virtual competitions. Thank you.